Here in Minnesota, meth is king. We are really swamped with meth right now.
At a Burnsville location, officials say they found 900 pounds of meth worth tens of millions of dollars. During the Minneapolis.
To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice.
4:07 a.m., Chicago, Illinois. A freezing March wind cuts across the South Loop. Temperature is 22 degrees. The streets are dead. The courthouses are dark. But federal agents are wide awake. 58 agents from the FBI, DEA, and IRS Criminal Investigation converge from unmarked vehicles parked along Dearborn Street. They wear tactical vests emblazoned with agency insignia. Breath clouds form under the amber streetlights. They stack at the service entrance of the Dirksen Federal Building. A ram thuds against reinforced steel. Breach. The alarm system screams through the marble corridors. Simultaneously, 3 miles west, another team storms a gated residence in Oak Park. A third team descends on a warehouse near Midway Airport. A fourth surrounds a luxury condominium tower on Lakeshore Drive, $1.9 billion. And that is the estimated value of the fentanyl network federal investigators say operated inside the American judicial system for over 6 years. 4 sitting federal judges, over 160 associates, a distribution pipeline stretching from the Mexican border to the Great Lakes. The men and women who swore oaths to uphold the law had allegedly turned their courtrooms into clearinghouses for narcotics, bribery, and obstruction. Documents obtained by our investigation reveal a conspiracy so deeply embedded in Chicago's federal judiciary that even veteran agents struggled to believe the evidence. For 22 months, investigators had been watching. What they uncovered would dismantle careers, shatter institutions, and expose a corruption network hiding in plain sight. Ready for what comes next? Hit like and share this forward. While agents breached the courthouse, let us go back to who was inside those residences. The primary target was Judge Richard Calloway, 61, a senior federal judge appointed in 2009. Calloway had presided over more than 4,000 cases. He sat on the 7th Circuit's narcotics docket. Defense attorneys praised his fairness. Prosecutors respected his rulings. Behind the robe, federal sources told us, Calloway ran the network's judicial shield. His role was simple and devastating. Dismiss cases, reduce sentences, seal records. In exchange, $4.7 million flowed into offshore accounts tied to his wife's maiden name. Judge Patricia Henson, 54, handled immigration and customs cases on the Northern District bench. Investigators say she ensured that shipping containers flagged by Customs and Border Protection were released without secondary inspection. Her cooperation allegedly cleared 38 separate narcotics shipments over 4 years. Judge David Mercer, 49, a rising star in Cook County's criminal courts, oversaw bail hearings for arrested distributors. According to court records, Mercer granted unusually low bail or outright dismissals in 91 cases linked to the network. His bank records showed $2.1 million in unexplained deposits. Judge Lorraine Whitfield, 58, supervised federal asset forfeiture proceedings. She allegedly diverted seized properties back to network-controlled shell companies. 14 properties worth $11.3 million were returned through her courtroom between 2019 and 2024. Supporting them was a web of enablers. Stephen Brandt, 47, a defense attorney, served as the network's legal fixer. Denise Kowalski, 39, a court clerk, manipulated docket assignments. Marcus Avery, 44, coordinated street-level distribution across 6 Illinois counties. Tommy Russo, 51, managed logistics from a trucking company in Cicero. Raymond Parks, 46, handled the financial architecture from a strip mall accounting office in Berwyn. To understand how federal agents penetrated this network, we go back 22 months earlier. November 3, 2023, 9:42 p.m. West Cermak Road, Cicero, Illinois. A routine traffic stop. Illinois State Police Trooper James Hadley pulled over a white cargo van with expired plates. The driver, later identified as 29-year-old Kyle Brennan, was sweating despite the cold. His hands trembled on the steering wheel. Trooper Hadley noticed a chemical odor. He called for a K-9 unit. and the dog alerted within seconds. Inside the van, concealed beneath false-bottom storage crates, officers found 14 kilograms of fentanyl, street value $4.2 million. Brennan refused to speak, but his phone told a different story. Forensic analysis of that phone revealed 1,847 encrypted messages across 3 platforms. The messages referenced code names, dollar amounts, delivery schedules. One thread contained a phrase that caught the attention of federal analysts. The judge signed off, shipment green lit. The report went straight to the FBI's Chicago field office. Within 48 hours, a multi-agency task force was formed under OCDETF designation. Special Agent Maria Torres, a 19-year narcotics veteran, was named lead investigator. The task force subpoenaed phone records. They pulled financial transactions. They cross-referenced court docket data. A pattern emerged that no one expected. Dismissed narcotics cases in Cook County's federal courts had increased 340% over 5 years. And every spike aligned with known shipment dates from the cartel supply chain. But that was just the beginning. The traffic stop was only the surface. What federal agents found when they pulled the financial records would reveal an empire operating inside the institution designed to stop it. Now, we return to the raids. 4:12 a.m., the Dirksen Federal Building. Agents stormed Judge Calloway's chambers on the 17th floor. The battering ram struck twice. The door splintered inward. Inside, agents found Calloway seated at his desk, a laptop open, a shredder running. FBI, search warrant, hands where we can see them. Calloway complied without a word. On his desk, a burner phone, 3 external hard drives, and a leather portfolio containing handwritten ledger entries dating back to 2018. The shredder held partially destroyed documents. Forensic technicians would later recover fragments referencing wire transfers to accounts in the Cayman Islands. Simultaneously, at the Oak Park residence, the second team breached the home of Judge Patricia Henson. Her husband answered the door in a bathrobe. Henson was found in a second-floor office. Agents secured a wall safe containing $387,000 in cash, bundled in vacuum-sealed bags. They also seized 2 laptops and a satellite phone not registered in her name. While agents breached the warehouse, let us go back to where this started to expand. For 14 months, the task force traced the money. Subpoenas went to 22 financial institutions. See, what they discovered was staggering. $1.9 billion had moved through the network since 2018. The money flowed through 47 shell companies registered in Illinois, Delaware, Nevada, and Wyoming. Companies with names like Lakeshore Capital Partners, Heartland Freight Solutions, and Midwest Allied Services. None had employees, none had offices. All had bank accounts. For 8 weeks, agents watched. Unmarked vehicles, cameras on utility poles, GPS tracking devices on 6 vehicles. They observed Marcus Avery, 44, making deliveries in a gray cargo van. He stopped at apartment complexes on the south side. He stayed less than 5 minutes at each stop. He made 14 stops per night. Surveillance footage showed Tommy Russo's trucking company receiving shipments from Texas at 2 a.m. Manifests listed auto parts. The trucks carried fentanyl precursors. The payment routing revealed the scope. Payments moved through Dubai, Panama City, and the Cayman Islands. Individual transactions ranged from $8,200 to $9,800, always under the $10,000 reporting threshold. Raymond Parks structured every transfer from his Berwyn office. One company, Heartland Freight Solutions, LLC, claimed to import industrial equipment from Monterrey, Mexico. Customs records showed 43 shipments in 18 months. Not one contained what the manifest described. Type more if you need to see what follows. Now we cut back to the raids. 4:21 a.m. Midway Warehouse District. The third team stormed the warehouse on South Cicero Avenue. The corrugated steel door buckled on the first strike. Inside, agents found a fully operational distribution hub, pallets of shrink-wrapped packages, digital scales, heat-sealing equipment. A ventilation system designed to neutralize chemical odors. Behind a false wall, agents discovered a hidden room. Inside, 312 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to kill every resident of Chicago twice over. Street value, $93.6 million. The fourth team hit the Lakeshore Drive condominium at 4:24 a.m. Judge David Mercer answered the door himself. He was dressed. Packed bags sat by the entrance. A one-way ticket to Zurich was found in his jacket pocket. Departure, 7:15 a.m. that morning. Agents secured the unit. Inside a closet safe, $612,000 in cash and a folder containing account numbers for 3 Swiss banks. Mercer said nothing. His attorney arrived within 40 minutes. By 5:30 a.m., the operation was complete. 23 locations raided across Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. 164 individuals arrested, 847 kilograms of fentanyl seized, $14.3 million in cash recovered, 31 vehicles impounded, 14 properties placed under federal asset forfeiture. Comment finally if you think the system worked here. The investigation had spent months mapping the infrastructure. Behind the courthouse operations, the network operated like a machine. Encrypted communications ran through 3 platforms. Messages were auto-deleted after 12 hours. One recovered thread, extracted from Denise Kowalski's phone, read, Case 24-CR-1187. Mercer has it. Bail set at $5,000. He walks Friday. Ledgers recovered from Callaway's chambers documented 6 years of payments, every entry coded. LF meant legal fee. CS meant case service. DP meant docket placement. The total documented in those handwritten pages, $38.7 million in payments received by the 4 judges combined. And the engineering sophistication was remarkable. Russo's trucking company used hydraulic compartments beneath trailer floorboards, accessible only by removing specific crates in precise sequence. CBP officers had inspected 3 of his trucks in the previous 2 years. They found nothing. One file on Callaway's hard drive contained names of 11 compromised officials beyond the judiciary. A city building inspector, $12,000 to ignore warehouse code violations. A CPD patrol sergeant, $8,000 monthly to avoid the Cicero corridor. A county clerk, $15,000 to process fraudulent business licenses. The evidence cataloging took federal teams 19 days. The physical inventory filled 3 evidence warehouses at the FBI's Chicago field office. Drugs seized, 847 kilograms of fentanyl, 94% average purity, 53 kilograms of heroin, and 28 kilograms of methamphetamine. Total narcotic street value, $278 million. Cash recovered, $14.3 million in U.S. currency. Largest single cash, $612,000 from Mercer's condominium. Denominations ranged from 20s to hundreds, stored in vacuum-sealed bags, duffel bags, and a floor safe. Weapons, 43 firearms, including 7 assault-style rifles, 12 handguns with serial numbers removed, and 3 body armor vests. Digital evidence, 14 laptops, 38 mobile phones, 9 encrypted external drives. Financial records spanning January 2018 through February 2025. Forensic accountants traced $1.9 billion in total network revenue, laundered through 47 shell companies, held in accounts across 4 countries. The judge's personal accounts held $38.7 million combined. Share this so it doesn't disappear. But the numbers did not capture the real damage. Tyler Garrison, 26, was an apprentice plumber from Joliet. He had broken his wrist on a job site in August 2024. A co-worker sold him what looked like OxyContin for the pain. The pill was counterfeit. Pressed fentanyl manufactured from precursors that passed through Russo's trucking line, distributed through Avery's Southside network, protected by judges who ensured no one was ever prosecuted. Tyler's mother found him on the bathroom floor of his apartment on September 14, 2024. He was dead. He was not an addict. He had never used drugs recreationally. The pill came from Callaway's network. Keisha Douglas, 34, was a CTA bus driver and mother of 2 from Englewood. She suffered chronic back pain from a 2022 accident. A neighbor sold her pills at a discount, the same supply chain, the same counterfeit tablets. Keisha collapsed during her shift on November 2, 2024. Paramedics administered Narcan. She survived. She lost her job. Her children were placed in temporary foster care. Federal prosecutors linked the network to at least 2,300 overdose incidents across northern Illinois. 487 of those were fatal. Families who trusted the justice system discovered that the system itself was complicit. If this cannot happen again, comment "No" next time below. February 10th, 2026. Federal Courthouse, Chicago. Judge Richard Calloway stood in an orange jumpsuit before Judge Eleanor Vance of the Southern District of Indiana, brought in to avoid conflicts. The charges were read: conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, racketeering, wire fraud, obstruction of justice, bribery of a public official, 27 counts total. And Calloway's defense argued entrapment and prosecutorial overreach. It failed. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all 27 counts. Calloway received 42 years in federal prison. No possibility of parole. Judge Henson, 33 years. Judge Mercer, 38 years. Judge Whitfield, 29 years. Stephen Brandt, 22 years. Denise Kowalski, 18 years. Marcus Avery, 25 years. Tommy Russo, 21 years. Raymond Parks, 19 years. In total, 164 defendants were convicted. Asset forfeiture totaled $67.4 million in properties, vehicles, and frozen accounts. All 4 judges were disbarred, all pensions revoked, all honors stripped. The fallout reached Washington within weeks. The Department of Justice launched a nationwide audit of federal judicial financial disclosures. The Seventh Circuit implemented mandatory transaction monitoring for all sitting judges. Our Congress introduced the Judicial Integrity and Accountability Act, requiring random forensic audits of case dismissal patterns. But the investigation was not over. Raymond Parks's financial records referenced a second network operating out of Detroit. 3 accounts remained unfrozen in the Cayman Islands. One associate, identified only as the contractor, remained at large. Intelligence suggested at least 4 similar corruption networks operated within state court systems across the Midwest. The most dangerous threat to the American justice system is not at the border. It is already inside, wearing a robe, holding a gavel, deciding who goes free. Drop your take below. Hit like so it counts. Share this before it gets buried. We are currently investigating a similar network operating in Detroit. If you want us to expose them next, subscribe.